Well, welcome everyone. This is Dad Livin, a podcast built for dads and really anyone.
And I'm Mike, by the way. I got two kiddos. They're 10 and 8.
So I'm Brian. I've got 3 kids, 2 twins that are 6 years old now, and a little guy who we like to refer to as our bonus baby.
I'm Brian. You guys in this room call me Johnny. Some people call me BJ.
Johnny.
Call me a lot of things. But I'm a father of 3, actually.
I'm Doug Yokes. And I have a 5 and a 6-year-old.
All right, welcome back to Dad Livin, everyone.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome back to part 2 of men's mental health. So, last time we talked about, obviously we had to split them up because we were having some fun.
Yeah.
Obviously talking about a lot of good things.
Let's talk about
Very
important topic.
Yeah, I think just to summarize, last time we talked about obviously getting help, whether you're, a professional, whether you're a first responder, using your resources for sure.
Yeah.
And, I think that's so important. And then obviously what we'll go into today is obviously hearing from Johnny.
Yeah, we all got stories to tell around this, so let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah. We never left.
Like we never left. So enjoy enjoy part 2. Thank you. I think, Johnson, as you as an entrepreneur, you've probably been through.
Oh yeah, I could go on a whole nother 30 minutes right now if you'd like to.
Yeah.
But I can kind of give you a quick rundown of just my experiences. But I don't want to say I was always like a depressed person. I think when I was in teenage years, I was not the highest self-esteem, and I don't know if I was ever depressed or anything, but you go through ups and downs, you work through some stuff, but I remember in my 20s just feeling just like bouts of like just feeling isolated, lonely. And I hear a lot about that now, man. And whether it's just like not feeling like I was fitting in or, I remember in my 20s, I was just like, I always had the fear of missing out. Like if you guys were getting together and I couldn't be there, I was just like, oh, just like the worst thing in the world, and like I'd go into a dark place, like, oh, maybe they don't even want me to be there, shit like that. So I think I always had this in the background, when we had our first child, he was stillborn. So this was going on 10 years ago when I was around 30. And so that was hopefully my one traumatic event that I'll ever go through.
Yeah. That was a big one.
I mean, maybe the worst thing a parent definitely the worst thing a parent will ever have to do, So, I mean, that put me into a deep depression for a while, to the point where like, I remember, Doug, it was your bachelor party.
Yeah.
And this was just a couple months after that had happened. And, this is the first time I really tried to go out to a party after that. And, I made it like halfway through the night and I was just like, dude, I gotta go. I can't be here, And, I remember you were like trying to pump me up and like, come on, man, you gotta pump it up for Doug. I'm like, dude, you don't get it. I can't do this,
Yeah.
And, man, when you are in that deep of a hole and it's so hard to just put a smile on, man. You feel like you're never going to be happy again. And, eventually, we're going on 10 years since that loss, and it still hits me in waves where sometimes it's out of nowhere. It'll stop me off my feet, or, or I'll just, get a glimpse of, I'll get a glimpse of him and just look at my kids like, oh man, like, my whole life should have been different,
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, probably after about 6 months after that happened, I started to come out of it and, kind of started to go down this road of like, I didn't like my life. I didn't, I was like the working for the weekend kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I had no big dreams or aspirations. It was just, but I thought I was fine. Like I was happy with my wife, and, I just thought that's what life was going to be like, just work all week, get through it, and get together with you guys and have a good time and do it all over again. So about 6 months after our loss, I started like going down this kind of self-improvement journey. And that's when I got the idea to go down this entrepreneurial road, and like it lit a fire in me, and I was motivated. I was excited for this new idea I was pursuing. And I think at the same time that it hid a lot of my grief, and I had a lot of mental health struggles that I was bearing down. And I call it escapism, maybe, even like right after it happened, I went back to my old job. I was like just trying to do the best I could at work and bury myself in work to just avoid, going home and crying myself to sleep or something, So fast forward, I'm going down this entrepreneurial road. I started a new business. COVID happened. We have 2 small kids. And the stress and anxiety was mounting on me to a point where I didn't recognize myself anymore. And a couple of years ago, 2023 was like the first hard stretch in my business where, some stuff happened, and it's like, man, we're in a hole here, and we got to work ourselves out of it. So I called 2023 was just like survival mode for me, where I just had to do what I had to do to keep this afloat. And I got through it, but it boiled over to my home life, and, to the point where like my kids were like, Dad, are you okay? I was just wearing that stress. Like you could see it on my face. And 2024, right around the new year, I call it, I guess I had like a mental breakdown. I think it just finally broke me where I couldn't think straight, and all through this self-improvement journey, like I started getting more back into physical fitness, and I thought that was helping me a ton. I was doing all the right things, but then when I would get into these modes where I had to just get shit done, that would all go on the wayside, and I would just get in these bad habits of eating like shit, drinking way too much, not sleeping. And I mean, I tell you what I learned through this, like sleep is a very, very important thing to your physical and mental health.
Okay.
And so after that breakdown, I finally, it's like, I got to change. I can't keep going like this, So I finally, I sought help. I found a counselor, found out it was all through insurance. So I paid a copay a few times. It was like not a big deal. And I knew I didn't want to. I'd gone to counseling before, and like this therapist I didn't like, who was like, "Oh, sit down and tell me about your life and your childhood." I'm like, "Hey, like I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward." Yeah. So I found a guy to work with. It was all online through Zoom calls and stuff. So I was like, for a while, it was like once a week. It was hour sessions, and as we progressed, and like, okay, man, you're doing better. Let's go every other week. And then to the point, it was like once a month. And I thought I was on a good road. I worked with them through all of 24. And then about a year ago, I had a big setback, and I was with you guys at the time. I don't know, like I started getting all these thoughts of just dread again. I started like waking up in the middle of the night again, and just anxiety rushing over me. And to the point where I just couldn't think straight, and just like all these negative thoughts keep stacking and spiraling. And he's like, "Hey man, like I know you've really resisted medication. I really think you should give it a try." So I did that for a short period. I did like a couple months on a pill, and I just reinvested again, and the physical side of things, got on some supplements, some nootropics to boost my mood. And man, it got me over the hump. Like I was resisting medication for so long.
Oh yeah.
And
As a man.
man, it's what got me over the hump. It was just a short time. I got off it. I'm like, I don't think I took my pill this week. I think I'm feeling fine, you know?
Yeah.
But man, I wish I would have done it so much sooner. And, you know, I still have good and bad days and weeks, you know, but, you know, what I learned working with that counselor is just, you know, I had all these thoughts that I thought were, you know, the end of the world, or, I just learned to like let so much of that go.
Mm-hmm.
And
Those little things stack up, don't they?
yes. And, you know, your thoughts aren't always reality. And, man, I, again, with you, Mike, I couldn't stress just reaching out for help. And, you know, for me too, like going back to the physical side of things, like if you were feeling depressed, but you're not doing the things that you know you need to do. And when I had that setback, like man, like I knew I wasn't doing the things I knew I needed to do to take care of myself. That's where that was kind of the breaking point for me. Like I can't even drag myself to the gym. I'm like, I'm waking up in the middle of the night again. Like I can't keep doing that, you know?
Yeah.
And I was with you guys when I'm talking about this. Like we were out, I forget what we were doing, but like I broke down. I'm like, guys, I'm not doing good. Like
Yeah. I remember that exact moment. It's after a concert. So
I just had to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
which I appreciated. It brought awareness to us. I know, you know, probably didn't last as long, but was checking in on you, making sure you were all right, trying to provide you with the support you needed. And it seems like you did all the right things because, man, you look good.
yeah.
You've
Well,
taken
thank you.
physical to another level. And for yourself, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't stress that enough. Like if you're not going to think your way out of this, the hole you're in.
Never.
You know,
Never.
it just could be as simple as like, hey, get outside, go for a long walk every day, get outside in nature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That can lift your mood, and just start doing those little things. And the more you stack those up, you know, you're going to brush off those negative thoughts and not get into that dark place. So
Do something.
I can't. Yeah.
It's hard.
Which
It's hard.
it kind of drives me nuts too. Like
work. It's tough to do the physical stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta carve the time out. And I know Megan or my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I mean, I wake up 5:30 every morning and do something because for myself, the sense of accomplishment first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Boy, it sets me up for
Yeah.
a good day. And I don't know when that was instilled in me, but it's something that I've done, and I'm not in the greatest of shape, but it puts your mind in a place that is if you can wake up and feel that you accomplished something. For me, that's what's triggered me to be able to like, all right, I've got a day ahead of me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, you're exhausted and maybe still come over, but like I can't stress what you're saying more on like the physicality of things.
No,
Getting outside.
You're not saying you got to be David Goggins or something, but like I'm to the point where if I don't exercise at least 3 times a week, like I noticeably feel it in my body, you know. And
I agree.
not just like I feel like that tension rising. I feel getting angry quicker, you know, losing my patience. So it's easy to say, oh, just if you're feeling depressed, go to the gym. Well, not everybody's can even lift themselves up to do that. But I think you got to improve your physical before the mental in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. So, and for me, as far as like, I know I didn't talk about my personal, like as deep with it, but I think a lot of mine, you know, obviously you went through a lot in life that impacted you, which rightfully so. And obviously, Osnorf, you've grown to a very successful position doing a lot of things and have gone through some life stuff and everything. Mike, obviously you're a first responder. I work in a space that never sleeps. I work in digital marketing. It's always there and there's always work to be done. And I'm the kind, and I'm 2 really tough traits. I'm I can't get my mind off something that's still undone or not complete, and I have to complete it. So naturally, I work. I work late, and I always think that if I can complete one more thing, do one more step, then I have more time with my kids and my family. But what does that do? That takes away time
Yeah.
from my kids and my family.
Yeah.
And luckily I've had a wife that has called me out, and, we've talked about it, and that's tough. And I still, it's almost like an addiction that I have to this day. I'm still battling it because I never want to show up to work incomplete. I never want to, especially as a leader, you have a lot of stress on you like that. You don't want to not have the answer. You don't want to not have something for your team or set someone else up for success. And you would sacrifice yourself and sometimes your personal life at times for that, which is the toughest thing to do. And, I think for people in that spot, obviously finding a mentor like Mike, your chief is
great advocate.
that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, so huge.
Yeah.
I don't have that right now. It's more of like work. I work for a smaller company that's fighting tooth and nail every single day, and we're very successful in what we do. And we have an incredible company, an incredible team. And I think daily I'm taking on the burden of the world, and that's my, that's my trait. I want to work hard, and I take on the burden for people. So that's tough. Even with a lot of stuff I do for this, like I could definitely delegate and give some of these things out. I was up till 1 a.m. last night, and I did that to myself, and I'm probably not as sharp as I should be. That's just a fault. It's something I can't turn off. And when I do, I turn it off. Like I'm gone. So that's what I'm planning on next week.
Yeah.
That's my goal next week, is not to bring my laptop, not to bring anything with me, not check my email.
Yeah, turn your email.
And I'm going to have 300 emails. I'm going to have to rely on my team, but that's going to be something that's hard for me. It's almost like, that person having their last cigarette, or an alcoholic. It is something I can't explain. And that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah. What you shared, I couldn't have said it better. I think the exact same. And, all I can tell you is what you said is shut off when you go on vacation. That's what I did, and I haven't done that forever. And I disconnected and got closer to my family than I think I have in a really long time.
Sounds amazing.
And so I do it because here's one thing that I learned, and my boss actually told me this, and so he gut checked me. He goes, if we can't go a week, 2 weeks without you, then we are not paying you enough money, and you are not indispensable. And he was like, but he goes, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But if not, come see me when you get back. And I was like, oh. And you know what? When I was out almost 2 weeks, and sure, came back to a shitload of emails, and everybody that's you happen. And your revolving door of people coming in. But guess what? The business moved on. Yeah. And if they figured it out, and you've got a team, I've got a team, they managed.
Yeah.
And so don't let that stress you, because I'm cut from the same cloth you are. I work as much as I can because I want to have the answers. I want to do my best. And I think that's a leveling anxiety and stress that led to whatever happened to me from a health perspective.
Yeah.
That, you got to let go every once in a while. And it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Would you say it's like you're a perfectionist with work, Doug, or is it just you feel like you always got to prove yourself kind of thing? Like,
I don't think the proving the self. I feel like I proved myself at this point maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I would say that was my mentality. I am a perfectionist because I feel like a lot of people look up to me. And I feel like right now, like I just took on a new role. Something I haven't done with more of a sales role. And I've taken on the burden of hitting a number, setting my team up for success, because it frankly hasn't been done. And I was fed up with it, and I'm going to take control of that. That's my mindset. So a little bit of perfectionist, but also like I always feel like if I can do that 1% more, 1% more, 1% more, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get better results and get better results. But me sending an email at 10:30 at night to a prospect is not going to get him to sign. And I got to turn that off. And I got to say 5 o'clock's my limit. Me and my boss, I'm not going to name, but she's freaking awesome. We have a role. She's a new mom, and she's had some tough times going through with her husband on just getting off on time. I've gone through the same thing with Kel, and I think at the end of the day, we have a 5 o'clock rule. If we're in the office, which we go to the office Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 o'clock. If we're both there, it's the 5 o'clock buddy system. We're leaving.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So that's helped because I think we can walk out, close off the day, and that's helped me mentally leave work, and then I can get on to my kids. So that's definitely a big part. And then the second trait that is so deadly, I think in a lot of cases, I'm a people pleaser. I take on the emotions of people around me. I try to make people happy, which is the toughest thing. And I don't know if you guys have probably experienced that. I try to make sure like that picturesque scene in your mind happens. And I try to do that with my family, and it drives my family nuts sometimes. And sometimes I can cause
Clark
stress.
Griswold disorder.
100%. I wish I could be.
I know you build these things up in your head sometimes, Sparky.
I love it. Man, I wish I had the forgetfulness of Clark Griswold, though. I just can't. And it sits with me. And I read a book that was so impactful. Let Them, by Mel Robbins.
Good one.
If you haven't read it, I don't care what profession you are. I don't care who you are, what trade you are. That book made a dent in my life and how I approach things to say, if you want to be sad, let them.
Yeah.
And even as a parent, so I'm going to bring this back. We're going through a tough time. You're going to have sleep regressions. We've all been through it. I mean, they are the most frustrating things. And me and my wife at the time had our youngest son, who was 4 at the time. He was wanting us to fall asleep with him. And this was going on for a year. I'm talking year. And, it takes you away. Now, it's nice. It's definitely 30 minutes, 40 minutes sometimes that you give to him. But it's also 40 minutes you take away from each other or doing some simple things. And as a parent, we all know when the lights go off, you still have the dishes to be done. You still have the stuff to put away, the tables to wipe, the laundry to fold,
a wife to give attention to.
Wife to give attention to. Watch a show.
Yeah.
And we were going on a year where we weren't spending it. I don't want to say any time, but I mean, we'd fall asleep in that bed. It was nice being next to him and falling asleep. But it definitely got to a point. I was reading the Let Them theory, and Mel said, "Hey, you're enabling them. You are letting them feel okay that you're in that room, and it's hard. So instead of enabling them, you're going to let them attack whatever they're scared of. And it's going to be tough. It may be a day, it may be a week, it may be a month, but they're going to overcome these things. And what they're going to do is they're going to get stronger." Yeah. And I told my wife, and I think she looked at me like I had 10 heads. Like, hold on, it's your night with him. You're going to do this. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, it was the toughest night as a parent. Him yelling, "Daddy" and "Mommy," and, crying and coming out. And what we'd do, we'd give him the, hey, and this is tough for me because once again, my people pleaser, that part of my head that's saying I should be empathetic and go cuddle with them and just give in. I didn't. I was strong and obviously I told my wife, like, hey, let's do this. And sure enough, the second night was her night with him, and he looked at her and said, once you go ahead and leave, I'm good to go. And he fell asleep all by himself. And ever since then, he's been great. There's nights where, of course, him or my daughter.
There's always curveballs. Yeah.
But that was
curveballs.
I think for me that night, overcoming 20, 30 minutes of him crying and yelling and screaming. And, when they're older, it means it more. When your baby's crying, okay, they either have to shit, eat, or sleep.
Right. That's it.
Whatever. So that was a big moment I overcame. And I still battle it. I would probably say that's my second thing, that I'm just a people pleaser. And my favorite word is sorry in a lot of cases. But I'm overcoming it by letting that person obviously, be sad. There's a time to be sad. Obviously, if they're depressed, I'm going to kick in and not let them be depressed. But I think with kids too, it's helped me just let them be happy or mad or sad, rather than try to fix things.
It's good.
So if my advice solution is just, read books. That has made such a big impact for me professionally and personally. Don't feel like you always have to read the professional leadership or get better things. Those things are great. But reading Let Them was just incredible. Matthew McConaughey's Green Lights has been amazing. Even Dave Grohl's book was really cool.
Yeah.
If you haven't read that was such a cool book. But a lot of celebrities are going through the same things that we are, and they have a very unique perspective and how they approach that.
Yeah.
I think for Mel Robbins with the Let Them, it was just her experience of just saying, hey, let them be who they are, and let me do what I can do. So
that's good principle. I think you could apply to a lot of areries of life.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think to put a bow on the whole mental health topic of like, check your mental appetite, if that's the right term, but
appetite? I like that.
What are you putting into your head? What are you consuming? If you're just constantly doom scrolling all day long or going to bed every night, that's not good for your mental health. Yeah. Like you said, read some books every now and then, limit your time on screens.
That's good.
That's a good start to get out of a rough spot you're in. So
yeah, good stuff. And I think with that, we're gonna cut out. Obviously, give us a follow, Dad Livin on Facebook, Instagram. God, what are the other?
Sorry, we're getting the socials going.
We're getting the socials going.
Yeah.
Follow us on YouTube. We're gonna be putting out content every week, at least putting out some different topics. If you have any topics that you want to hear us talk about or dive in, any questions, comment on the videos as well, comment on socials, send us a message. We're definitely new at this, but we're always looking for feedback and always looking for some questions.
I'd love to answer some questions or some things that maybe we won't think of.
So,
we'll get there.
There's a million things and a million topics that we're going to cover, but we definitely want you along for the journey and obviously appreciate you listening.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye. Next time.